Hello, hello. All right. How's everybody doing today? I am Jennifer with Canvas Sign Designs, and I am going to be doing a little bit of lettering right now. Sign lettering, that is, on some door hangers. I have orders that need to go out, so y'all are going to get to just hang out with me and chit chat, and let's litter on some signs. um, as you are jumping on, let me know you're here. Say hi. Hey, Amanda, how are you? Okay, so I am also streaming live on YouTube, so and in my lettering group and on my Facebook page. So you may not see all of the comments, but Amanda from St. George, New Brunswick. Welcome. I'm here in Texas. We are having a stormy, rainy day. It hasn't started storming yet, but it is about to. So, or it looks like it's about to anyway. Okay, so let's oh, we got two Amandas here today. Amanda from Bedford, Indiana. Indiana, I have a friend that lives in Indiana. She's like a little business friend, not a little business friend, but you know what I mean. Hey, Juanita. Hey, Kim. Welcome, everyone. So usually I do a project on Tuesday to kind of walk you guys through and show you through a project, but today I have some orders that are due to ship out, and I need to get some work done. So y'all are just gonna hang out with me and work on orders. But the good news is some lettering, and that's always fun. And everybody always loves the lettering. So I am gonna get started. Amanda, it's cloudy over here. It's about to rain. Yeah, that's how it is here too. It says a lot of storms, but you know. Hey, Amy. We got lots of A's. Amanda, Amy, Kim, Jennifer, Juanita. Wonder what generation we're all from, right? Okay, so I'm going to bring my second camera up here on the screen. I'm just trying to get this camera to, not be so angly looking. Okay, and I'm actually gonna, and it's a reasonably cool and gloomy. Same here. No, this is weird. Okay, so I'm in Texas, and our weather is just very bipolar anyway. But the other, it's spring in Texas, or it's almost May. Okay. Sorry, I have to move opposite of the way that the screen shows, and it's so much more difficult than it looks. Don't want to get y'all close. Get y'all a close little view here. And the other day, it was yesterday. No, Sunday. Sunday, there was a high of 50. It's insane. For almost May. I don't even know. It's just crazy. Amanda said, you have Army kids in El Paso. Nice. So very far from me. I'm close to Dallas. Amy Humphrey says, there were 6 Amy's in my graduating class, 7 Aarons, and 7 Jennifers. I know. Everywhere I go, there's always a Jennifer. Always. And with an Amy, you're probably the same. Kim, Amanda, we're all like that late 70s, 80s generation name, right? Like 70s, 80s names, where everybody was named that. My mom said when she named me Jennifer that nobody else had that name. So there you go. Or, like a lot of people weren't named that. So anyway, I'm just using a little laser level here. I do this sometimes if I want to just freehand on a sign. Just get it straight and neat, you know, it doesn't like slope off to the side. Yes, so many Amanda names. 82 there. Where, let's see, you probably already told me. Amanda, sung by Don Williams. I don't know where my parents got my name. I don't know, but subsequently everybody has the name Jennifer. The good news is when you're named Kim, Jennifer, Amanda, Amy, unless your parents, you know, got all crazy and wanted to, you know, AMIEE kind of spelling, you know, like a lot of people don't have the same spelling. I mean, the name, I get distracted when I look at comments. The name doesn't have a lot of spellings. When you're Jennifer, it's just not a whole lot of ways to spell Jennifer. So I don't have to worry about people messing up the spelling of my name, which is always nice. That's always very helpful. But yeah, this, you can just know for sure that no matter where you go, somebody's going to have the same name as you. And I guess people don't don't forget how to spell your name, right? Melissa, there we go. We got another 80s name. Juanita, your name. Yeah, your name probably is not super popular and does not get spelled. I don't know, how do people try to spell your name? Juanita, because I feel like that's like, I don't know, how else do you spell that name? Juanita, I feel like is an unusual name. However, I know Miss Juanita is here. And then I have another friend named Juanita, and my ex-husband's grandmother, who I love dearly, was named Juanita too. So that's 3 Juanitas. Oh, W-A-N. I guess they're probably not from Texas. You see, I'm from Texas, and in Texas, everybody would know how to spell Juanita. No, I don't think anybody would spell Juanita as a W-A-N-I-T-A. I don't think that is what would happen here. So I forget sometimes that I'm in Texas and everybody else doesn't live in Texas. Because I'm like, how could they possibly misspell Juanita? So laser level, doesn't matter what brand. I do have one of these linked in my Amazon store, Amazon shop, but they work really good for helping you get those straight lines, especially if you're like, you know, freehanding lettering on a sign. If you are a sign maker, or you could use it on paper too. I mean, I've definitely done that before. I think I was just thought of it one day, and I was like, and thought of it one day, like years after I've lettered for a really long time. And then I was like, wait, the laser level would work. And then, you know, it's like one of those things, I go out in the garage and I get it. And then I'm like, where have you been all my life? Where have you been? I pencil everything on before I do the lettering, because I want to be able to kind of just focus on the lettering and not focus on, I can't, like, when I started lettering, when I started making door hangers back in 2014, I did not use a pen. I used a paintbrush. However, I think I was very, very limited on the words that I lettered. Like, you know, it would be an initial or it would be print. I did not do the cursive like this when I first started out. I'm gonna have to go get another pen. This one's getting a little dry. I use a paintbrush, and I mostly did print, unless somebody requested cursive. Let me grab another pen. I'm sorry, guys. I thought about it earlier and then I forgot again. So when I started out, yeah, I used a paintbrush, and then a few years into it, I started using marker. And then I started working on this kind of modern calligraphy-ish look. So where was I going with that? I don't remember where I was going with saying that. Amy, you need to learn to letter like me. Well, hopefully you're in I do have a free lettering group on Facebook for the love of letters. And then I have an online lettering course that's just for sign makers. So if you're a door hanger maker, or even if you made signs on Canvas, my online course is just specific to that. So I tell you everything I do, how I do it, why I do it, all of the good things. And then I also have a monthly lettering membership where I just kind of, we work on hand lettering together. I break things down super simply because some people like to learn in like a community sort of environment versus an online course. And then some people just are like, give me the info. I want the info so that I can just learn it on my own. And so I kind of just offer both. Now my lettering club, we'll call it a club, it comes with like digital downloads each month that you get. And I did link these in the show notes. That's what I want to say because I listen to podcasts all the time. Hey, Gail, welcome. I did link both of them in the description of the, whatever. Juanita said the club is amazing. Juanita is one of my club members. And so I'm just going to put these links. I'm going to pin these links on this comment here just because it will be easier. So my lettering course is called Lettering for Sign Makers. And then, let's see. And then we also have I should have already done this, you guys, I'm sorry. I think it's sometimes when it's in the description, it's hard for people to see. Happy Lettering Club.com. Okay, and then let's see if I can see if this will let me pin this comment. Oh, keeps taking me to the link. Sorry, guys. Amy said she got her happy mail from Amy yesterday with the Hello Spring wood cutout from y'all doing the duo live. Oh, yay. Good, good. Did you like it? What are you going to make with it? Why is like fun? Well, oh well. Yeah, that's just one of many things that you can do, right? When you do hand lettering. So anyway, we have the online lettering course, but that is just, it's really specific to sign lettering. It's not, if you don't make signs or you're not interested in making signs, then I wouldn't take that course because it's just going to be a lot of information pertaining to like wood signs, door hangers, that kind of stuff. And then I have, I'm going to be working on just a hand lettering course, an online course that people can take just to learn to hand letter. But then I also have the lettering club, the Happy Lettering Club. And that we kind of work on all different forms of lettering. like card making, journaling, sign lettering, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of just a group that is more so for just anybody that wants to get better at lettering, because the fundamentals are going to be the same. Your shapes, how you shape things, how you letter them. It's all the same movements, whether it's on a sign or on paper. Those fundamentals are all the same. So that is good for that. So there is my one welcome. Welcome, Sue. This is an attachment sign. So you probably know what that is, but it is we're small Velcro pieces that you can interchangeable attachment signs. And I put this piece of, I just cut this with my silhouette. I put a piece of just vinyl right here where I'm going to adhere the Velcro, because I use a really high grade MDF. It's not like the kind you can find at Home Depot or Lowe's. It's like a really, really nice MDF. And when you use MDF, if I were to stick this piece of Velcro on paint, it adheres to that top surface and it can pull off, and it will pull off a nice little square of paint. So I cover it, and then when I'm done, I pull it off and put my Velcro on, in case anybody was wondering what that square was for. Amy, you are debating on what to use it for. I know there's probably so much, and you're probably like, I don't want to waste it. I just want to use it on something really good. I totally understand that. Amy says, interchangeable signs are the best. They take up less space with so many more. I know, right? And you don't have to get really bored with it, right? Like, I feel like, I get bored with stuff easily. So this you could keep like all year round. I have so many people that order this for this particular sign, because this one is just a little bit smaller. I mean, it's still big, but it's a little bit smaller. So a lot of people order this for their moms that are in like a retirement apartment or something, because it's smaller to put on the door, and they love it because then they can change out the pieces and they're not having to, they have decorations for all year, but they're not having to buy a whole bunch of signs. So I probably sell so many of these to people like that, like on Etsy. And then the good thing about it is when you buy one of these attachment signs, I'm just going to accent this, and this is what I call accenting. Some people say highlighting. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing when I started my business, so that's just the word that I used for it. It just kind of adds a little. It also, this is a great way if you're not super comfortable with your lettering yet and you feel like it's a little shaky, or, just maybe just not the way that you want it to look. If you just kind of add a little highlights in there, it just kind of distracts your eye. When the letters are black, like, your eyes are just going to be drawn to it's like something being in black and white, right? That's all you're going to see. But if you have some accents, it just kind of, you don't really notice every single line. So it's a really good way for those of you who might be a little bit uncomfortable with your lettering, or maybe it's not where you want it to be. Throw some accents on it. Throw a few accents on it. Now, I'm going to do one more welcome. And I use a watercolor pencil. Some people use chalk, and I use chalk when I first started my business, I used chalk. Chalk works great, but sometimes it can be kind of hard to get off. And it leaves like a dusty kind of residue sometimes on your sign. So, that's kind of the downfalls of using chalk. And if you're doing like a light sign like this, you can't really see chalk very well. So I started using a watercolor pencil, and it has helped a ton. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab the link to my link tree real quick, you guys. I'm sorry. But it just occurred to me that you might want to know what supplies that I'm using. And I also have that linked in here. So I'm just going to put it as a banner so that you guys can. That's not. Sorry, I don't think of this stuff always as I'm doing things. Anyway, I use a watercolor pencil because you can, it's really good when you are lettering your marker or your paint. So if you use paint, it just mixes in with the pencil. And the pencils are really easy to erase. So you can go back and erase like extra, you know, if you didn't cover up a line or something like that, versus a regular pencil. Like the lead is a little bit softer, so it works a little bit better. Let me just do this. There you go. If you click on that, if you click, and I'll raise this up. If you click on that link, you will. It will have my Amazon favorites. You can see watercolor pencils, what marker I'm using, my laser level, all of the good things. You'll know. You'll know where it is. Okay. Should I make this a little? Yeah. Sorry. One day I'll be all prepared for all these things, but I don't. You know. It is what it is. I had to get my 5-year-old out the door today. Out the door to preschool. I had to do my nails because, you know, y'all don't want to see my nails with a few nails on and a few off and alive. That would be, you know, I was tired last night and I didn't feel like finishing or doing them. So anyhow. So I use a watercolor pencil. Back to where we were. Watercolor pencils work really well. Yes, Sam says they are easy to erase. Watercolor pencil, yes, they are. You weren't saying that, you were asking that. They are very easy. In fact, I will show you right now. So you see this? I'm gonna use, this is just here. We'll use my big old pink eraser, okay? Because everybody probably has a pink eraser. And let's just, I'm gonna erase like the C here. So you can see it erases good. Pretty easy. I feel like regular pencil, the lead is really like soft too. So if you were to use a regular pencil, like I use mechanical pencils a lot, and they, you know, they get that kind of like the lead is really kind of digs into your sign. So this lead is really soft. And another thing I like about it, well, it doesn't smear. Like, so if you are lettering on a black surface, you could use a white pencil. And if you are using, if you are lettering in, if any door hanger makers who have ever used the color yellow, which is probably everybody, and orange, you know that like if you're penciling on your design before you paint it, if you use a pencil and you try to cover a pencil up with yellow or orange, you can put as many coats as you want on that all day long. It's not going to cover it You will not cover it up. So if you use like a yellow or orange watercolor pencil, it literally mixes in with the paint, and you won't see pencil lines. It's so fabulous. So fabulous. So anyway, that's why I like to use them. I usually use gray because it just kind of goes with everything. You can see it on a white sign. You can see it on a black sign. So if you want to know any of the supplies that I'm using, marker, all that good stuff, go to this link right here and go to my Amazon store front, and it have all kinds of categories and all of the good things. And I go more detailed with all of this stuff, obviously, in my online course and in my lettering club, where we kind of just break things down and work on it really specifically. But I've been doing this for a very long time, almost 10 years. And I've been using the techniques that I use now for, I don't know, 7 years. So they work. I have proven that they work. My lettering hasn't always looked like this. I posted some pictures, or I posted a picture last Thursday, of my earlier, actually one of my first designs. And yeah, it's changed quite a bit. I've learned quite a lot since then. Quite a lot. I would definitely feel as if I can call myself a sign lettering expert, and I don't really use that very loosely. I don't say that about a lot of stuff, but it sort of just became I'm a perfectionist, and just drawing these words so I can add a little highlight accent. I'm a perfectionist, so this is something I worked on a lot, and I was determined to, make it look really good. And it didn't always look like this. It's kind of formed throughout the years. So Amy said she saw that picture, and I say you have improved. Yeah, I said my letters were like this dancing. They were dancing, or they were a snake. They were like wiggly, like, no. Yeah, it's improved. How I wish I would have had somebody whenever I was starting out to just say, hey, look, use this, do this. Here's some resources, like gold. But I didn't, so I had to just kind of figure it out on my own, which is probably God's plan, right? Because when you figure it out on your own, it takes a lot longer, and you really know it. You can kind of just make it your own. But, when I started out, I didn't have a vinyl cutter. I didn't have any fancy, I didn't know about templates. I didn't know, so it was like a stencil or hand letter, whatever. And the first, let's see, well, not the first, I did in-home parties for the first, until COVID basically shut that down. And so when you're doing that, a lot of people want you to personalize something on their signs, right? They want you to do their name or whatever. So you got to kind of figure it out on the fly. And so I would have to do this at parties. And it was stressful sometimes. But it made me better. And it made me realize what people need. So it just, if you can't hand letter on your signs, it limits you, right? So if somebody wants if you're doing paint parties and somebody wants, can you do my last name instead of welcome? They are very excited when you do that, and they can watch you do that. it just opens up so many more doors for you, and you're not limited to having to spend money on stencils and templates and all that other stuff, right? Like you have the freedom to do things exactly how you want it and exactly your own style. And another thing is when you can hand letter on your own signs, anybody who makes door hangers, like sometimes the door hangers have like, the shape of the sign's different, or you might have a design on it that you're trying to like letter around. And so sometimes when you have like a stencil or a template, it may not fit your sign. So when you can hand letter on your own signs, you can, make one of the letters really big and then make these smaller to kind of fit into that empty space. Allergies, sorry. So it gives you a lot more freedom to be able to kind of make them unique to you. Also, that's just another fabulous thing, right? Because there's a lot more door hanger makers out in the world now than there were whenever I started out. When I started out, there were not many door hanger makers. Now there's a lot. So how do you give yourself an edge over other people, right? How do you make your signs more unique, or get more business? That is making a really cute sign that nobody else has. Nobody else can buy that sign. They can't go out and make that sign, right? Like it's yours. So it gives you a little bit of a competitive edge, I feel like, in the time right now where everybody, or there's a lot more sign makers out there. So how can you stand out? You can stand out by lettering in your own signs, and people are fascinated with watching you letter, especially like at paint parties. I'm going to change so that you guys can see what I'm about to do, especially at paint parties. Have any of you done a paint party before? Those of you that are makers, have you done like an event where you are painting, or maybe you're lettering on something? So people love to watch lettering, right? Like we all do. I love watching my own lettering. Like I will find myself just spending an hour on TikTok just watching my own videos because there's something about the lettering that is so fascinating. Hey, Janet, welcome. There's something about lettering that is just so fascinating, right? Like it's calming, it's soothing, it's relaxing to watch. So when you are doing this lettering on signs at a, say, paint party, Juanita said she's done one on canvas. So this on canvas too. People are going to be so amazed at what you can do because it's not everybody can do that. So it's nice to watch. And that is going to give you a lot of confidence to be able to say that you can kind of change the lettering. It's just going to give you a little bit of an edge as a sign maker if you can letter on your own signs. So I would say that is a good advantage to lettering. Hey, Miss Deb, how are you? That just reminded me, Deb, I need to message Amy and get you that link. I forgot between yesterday and today. But freehanding is one thing. That takes a little bit of time, to kind of get comfy and cozy and secure and confident in your freehanding. But until then, you can buy templates, and I do have lots of lettering templates. I'm going to do Hey Y'all on this one. Now, I freehanded the other two because I've written welcome more times than you can shake a stick at. Like, I literally, it's just probably in the hundreds of thousands of times that I have written the word welcome. But let's see, I'm going to move this a little higher so that banner doesn't get in the way. Hey y'all, not that I haven't written it a bunch of times, but I just want to show you that if you're not good at freehanding, you can purchase a template. And then you can just resize it to the size of your sign. I do sell lettering templates, also sign templates, but I didn't know about these until 2020. And I was like, I used to just make my own with some tracing paper, but you can purchase templates, resize them, fit them. So this would be a template, right? And I'm going to put this right here on the sign. I'm going to line it up to where I want it to go. So you get it nice and neat like this. Man, I wish I would have known about these when I started out. I mean, I guess in hindsight, it's a good thing because I learned a lot. I probably wouldn't be as good at lettering as I am now if I had always had these, but wow. Graphite paper. This is also linked to my Amazon store. If you don't know what graphite paper is, you're about to find out. It's carbon paper, basically, kind of. So there's a matte side and a shiny side. I'm going to put the shiny side down. This one has been used and loved for going on probably a year and a half. They last forever. You do have to be careful. You don't want to get it. You want to get a good graphite paper, and you want to get because there's some at Hobby Lobby that's good. Michael's, it's good. But don't rub it a lot because you will get that residue on your sign, which you can erase after you're done. But until then, and I'm just going to take, you can take a stylus, you can take a pencil, and you can, this is a lot, usually what I do when I do anything other than welcome. And the reason is because I'm usually making a lot of signs and I want to go fast. I don't want to have to think about like, you know, lining at my laser level, making sure things are, you know, whatever. And then I get done and I'm like, oh, I should have made that H a little bit higher, whatever. Like I know this is exactly how I want it. I made it in Procreate. I made it specific for this sign. I know that it's exactly what I want. So I know that that outcome is going to be what I want. And so I can just quickly grab this. I can trace it on and I can letter it and I can be done. Because even me, like I am obviously good at lettering and I've done it for a very long time. I have days sometimes where I letter something on a sign and it does not look the way that I want, or I get it a little crooked, or I run out of space and it's a little bit crunched up over here. Like that still happens to me on a regular basis. Like we all have off days, right? If I use a template, I know it's going to look exactly like I want. And because that graphite paper is so old, you can see the word. Usually it won't look like this. It's just because my paper is really, really old. Usually it will look like this. So you're just transferring it onto your sign and then you can letter over it. You can even just like do this, go back over it if you want. Do your faux calligraphy lines. I teach all that in my lettering club and in the course. I'll teach you how to do all this and when to know how to do it and all that good stuff. But it's just a really, for me, it's like I know I don't have to think about it and it's gonna turn out great. I kind of spend more time these days like designing it. So that process is where I really will spend a lot of time like just tweaking it and getting it exactly the way I want it to look. And I do all that inside Procreate, hand lettering it, and then I create my template. And then I know I have my template. It's good. It's exactly how I want it. And I don't have to think about it. Because I like to just, especially when you're starting out, if you can focus on the, I feel like I've been clearing my throat so much that now like it's so dry. You can focus on using your marker and getting your lines really straight and all that. And you're not having to think about all these other things in your head going on. Like, am I keeping it in a straight line? Are the letters the same size? Are, you know, all these things. it's too much in your mind at once. So limiting that and where you can just focus on your marker is awesome. Thank you, Amy. She said she loves the hey y'all. I do too. Amanda said, another sign maker I watched taught us to rub down a brand new sheet of graphite paper with a paper towel. It helps that extra transfer from, oh, I have not ever heard that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna just show your message in case it might help somebody else. I have never heard of that, and I bet it works great. Yeah, that's really good. I usually use mine till they wear out, so they're not so black. And I think it also depends on what brand you use. So it might look like this when you get it brand new. Depending on what brand you use, the cheaper brands are great, but they still work great, but they're going to get a lot more black everywhere. If you can get kind of the brands that are a little pricier, and by pricier, they're still very inexpensive. Like you can get a whole giant like 9x12 sheet for less than $10. Like it's not much. But you'll see like on Amazon, a lot of these people have like 100 sheets for $3. That's probably going to leave a lot more smudgy goodness, like true carbon paper. So just kind of watch out for that. Just going to see, I have packaging in here somewhere with some good kind. This is a good kind that they have at Hobby Lobby, and they have it on Amazon too. But then Hobby Lobby also has like an Artist Loft kind that's really good. The kind they have at Michael's is really good. Most places that are going to sell those like super multi-packs are going to be on Amazon. And just be wary that they will leave lots of smudgy goodness. It's not, and by goodness, I mean not at all. So you see, here's a brand new sheet of cheap carbon paper, and you can see like it is going to leave that. This is my used and abused, and you guys, I paint signs all day. Well, not all day, every day. I do a lot of online stuff now, so I paint signs every day though. Every day. I've had this. Now this came on a big 9x12 sheet, and I cut some strips out so that it would just be like the size of the lettering on some of my more common signs. But this is probably a year and a half. I mean, you see all the different, how many times that I've used this, like it's got holes in it. But I like it because it still works and it doesn't smudge as much. So, but you can see the difference between brand new. But this is a nicer brand. But yeah, you have to be careful if you're using a cheaper brand. If you're heavy on your hand, you're going to smudge it. So just be careful of that. When you are putting it down, just lay it flat. Don't let it rub. I always clip my template on with like a little, like these I got from the Dollar Tree. I always clip this on my sign first so that I know it's not going to move. You know, I want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And then, you know, just very lightly put that down. And even just if you can do this, I can put my hand down, but I know I've been doing this long enough to, I know it's not going to smear. But you can just take your pencil and just, you know, as long as you get that general shape. Once you do that, then you can take your design and you can go back over it with a pencil, like you saw me do. I kind of thickened it up or made kind of corrections, and then you're not having to worry about smearing things all over the place. So, helpful hint. Amy said she has those clips. Another way to use, I know, they're great because I like them because they're coated in plastic so they don't leave marks on your signs. So you can use any clip that you want, but if they're like real, like if they're metal or something like that, sometimes it can scratch your sign. And so these, I like them because they don't do that. And you can open them kind of wider. So that's why I like them. Let's see. Oh, Juanita, you're so sweet. She sent you, Deb, the links for the printables. Thank you, Juanita. You're so awesome. Yeah, I don't know why that went. Sometimes maybe, Deb, did you check your spam folder or your promotions folder? Sometimes they go through there. I don't know. It's really weird. Technology is really weird sometimes. Juanita, I got those at Dollar Tree. They're at my Dollar Tree. They're by the checkout. It's like a pack of 6 of them, and they come in all these different colors. Not that this is what the video is about, but I just have to show you all these pretty little cute colors that they come with. Aren't those cute? I love those colors. So yeah, I like them. They're fabulous. It would even be cute on a sign, like if you had a nail and you could just like hang a little picture or whatever with. It's cute. Bet they're sturdy enough too to hold. Well, I don't know. I don't want to. I was gonna say hold the string from your door hanger. Like it. Just never mind. Scratch that. It's gonna take too much explanation. Dollar Tree, they have, okay, yours is Amy's Dollar Tree has them at the register too. So that's probably exactly, and Deb too. So good. Yeah, at the register. They're so cute. You could use them for all kinds of things. I just like the color of them. But anyway, templates are a great way to be able to do your lettering. And in my club, I went over recently on, like how you can make your own. There's lots of different ways that you could make your own if you didn't want to purchase one. So yeah, being a door hanger maker, if you can letter on your signs, even if you're just doing it for yourself, if you can get the practice down on the lettering, you can honestly save yourself a lot of money, because now you're not like dependent on having to go purchase a file every time you want some, like a new way to letter, or you got a new sign that you want to letter. You can just go purchase. I mean, you don't have to go purchase the file. You don't have to have a vinyl cutter. You don't have to have a laser, wood cutter. And then if you kind of get good at that and you have some of the other tools that, you would need, you could design your own. So definitely just opens up a lot of doors, especially if you are a maker, make crafts, really of any kind. You can use these skills on. And when you know how to hand letter, you can it just opens up a lot of doors, especially like in this lovely economy that we are in. Ways to be able to make extra money. If you can personalize things, people can't go to Hobby Lobby and get something with their name on it, right? People can't, have things kind of custom designed to fit a specific piece. So it really does open a lot of doors to have you better serve your customers if you are a maker, or gives you more freedom. I'm just turning this because sometimes I do that to get an angle that I want. I know I'm gonna be able to get this angle here a little bit better if I go at it this way. So you can see how I do the initial lettering, but then I do go back over it and just kind of smooth things out, get it to look just how I want. I rarely just letter something once and then I'm done, unless I'm just practicing and doing it for fun. But if it's an order, I'm making sure that It looks just how I want it. And I kind of start it small, and then I just make it bigger, bigger, bigger as I go. But it just gives you a freedom to be able to just do so much more. And even like today today for my daughter's preschool. They are celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week this week. And like I was getting her ready this morning. I hope Miss Ruth isn't watching this. But I was getting her ready this morning, and I was like, oh, I forgot to put what I want together for her. So I grabbed one of my signs that I had made on a live a few weeks ago, a teacher sign, and I just added Miss Ruth at the bottom, and I just hand lettered it. So like, just things like that. Like you can do a little cup with, a hand lettering design on that. Like you can just do so much more if you kind of get this down. And it takes time. A lot of people give up before they have given it an appropriate amount of time, because we are in a world right now where we want everything done right now, right? We want to learn the things. I'm the same way. I want to get better at stuff right now. And the biggest secret to hand lettering is, obviously knowing what to use is pretty important. Knowing how to use it, pretty important. But after that, it's just practice. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do. And you're just going to have to practice. You're going to have to give it some practice. Let's see. Amy said she uses them to close bags that go back into the freezer. Yes. If you come to my house, you'll see in my pantry and in my freezer, you're going to see all kinds of things with binder clips on them instead of a chip clip. Use those. Use binder clips. All kinds of things. But yeah, they work great for that. What attachments go with the sign? Well, I will show you in just a sec. I have some over there on the floor in a basket ready to go out today, so I can show you. They're cute and they're fun. The attachments are like my favorite thing to make. I don't know if it's because they're little and mini and, all little things are cute. Or if it's the fact, probably has also a lot to do with the fact that I can make like 20 of them in the amount of time that I can make a couple signs. So, maybe not 20, maybe 10, so that I like. They're fast because they're smaller, but they're just cute. And I do sell like the blank mini attachments. I obviously sell the painted ones, but I also sell the blanks on my website. Not on my Etsy, but on my website. There is a listing for all the attachment cutouts. So if anybody wants to purchase one, just the blanks, and paint it yourself, you can. I need to put together like a template for attachment sign template to sell. I have not done that yet, but I need to. Okay, so there is the Hey Y'all. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute, cute. Now, just to get your lines so super straight and even, just takes a little bit of practice. I promise you'll get there. I did not start lettering and my lines were, just go look on my page and you can see that clip of one of my first signs with the letters are all, and people bought it. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, how in the world did I sell those signs? But they did, because there were nice, beautiful souls that supported me. Oh, here, I'll take this and I'm gonna show you. Let me grab these attachments real quick. They either just really loved me or they really liked it and they didn't, a lot of people don't see what we see. So there's that. We see all the flaws in our stuff, and not everybody sees all the flaws. So attachments. So we have this little Happy New Year one here. Happy New Year. And then we have, here's a birthday cake. How cute is that? My attachments are really big too. A lot of people that sell attachments, I'm not meaning this in a way that is negative to them, but I'm just saying that mine are a lot bigger. I guess I just really didn't know any better when I started making them, and I sell so many attachment signs that I can't change the size now, right? And it's just easier to do all, the same sort of size. So we just are going with it. But when I started selling these, we didn't have a laser machine. We had we still do, but a CNC router. And so you couldn't get these like teeny, like small, intricate, like designs on the CNC. So this is the size that we went with, and we did it. So it's there, and we go with it. So there's that. These are also great for teachers. I do like teacher attachment signs also for classrooms, because then they can just switch out the pieces and they don't have to have a new sign for all the holidays. And helpful hint, if you ever gave any of these, if you make them or you buy them to give, buy a few extra attachments, and then you have gifts for that person for the next season. So a lot of people will buy them for, like, say you're going to buy one for your mom or your grandma or your sister. You give her the sign and a couple of attachments, hold back the other attachments, and then now you have a Christmas gift, or now you have a Mother's Day gift. Now you have a birthday gift, like so for teachers, a lot of people will buy like the teacher sign at the beginning of the school year, and then they will buy, like, we'll say 5 attachments that go with it. So they'll give the sign at the beginning of the school year with 1 attachment, and then like for fall, they'll give them a gift of the fall attachment, and then Christmas, they'll give one then, and then, Valentine's Day, whatever, just throughout the year. Teacher appreciation, then you have, so all your gifts are done for the whole year, which is awesome. So anyway, we got a little birdhouse and a Christmas tree and the turkey. And here's a little buffalo check pumpkin and a sunflower. So I sell these in like sets. If like you can buy one sign with 4 attachments, one sign with 12, one 6, there's different packages. So here's a bunny here, and here's the heart. The heart looks great on absolutely every sign. It looks fabulous. So, and then I just do like a bow that is a neutral, like black and white and gold, or whatever here. So this color is, I can do them in any color, but this one is the one that typically sells the most, because I think it's just a good neutral color, right? Like it's not white and black, but it's not like, it's just kind of an off-white kind of looking sign. So yeah, these are fun. I have so many. I have like, I don't know, probably 35 or more different attachments that can go on it. So there's lots to choose from. There's sports packages. There's all kinds. I got snowmen, 3 different Halloween ones, like a candy corn, ghost, a witch hat, just shamrock. This order has a shamrock to go with it, but I have to make the shamrock because I'm out. What else do we have? We just have everything. A camper, a bumblebee. So I have a popsicle, pineapple, watermelon. You could do a state shape. What else? I have some that say just like home sweet home. Oh my gosh, I have so many. Popsicle, I said that right. Cactus. I have some mason jars, some like lemonade mason jar, or a mason jar with fireflies in it. So cute. Just so many options. A flag. That one gets, usually people order a flag, a heart, a shamrock, one for fall, Those are usually the ones that get ordered first. I do have, let me grab, I do have some other ones over here. Let me grab and I'll show you. Here's some more options. Here's a little Hello Fall. That one's cute. Then, of course, the heart again. Here's the shamrock. There. And here's a little Happy Easter one. So they're cute. And if you are a door hanger maker, again, I sell these in this size in my shop on my website, not in my Etsy, but on my website, just the blanks if you wanted to purchase the blanks. But if you're not real good at making things elaborate, like just paint it a solid color. You could do a green shamrock, a red heart, you know, a solid color egg, a solid color leaf. Like you don't have to do lettering on it. You don't have to, and it's still super cute, right? So I need to kind of package up like a cutout set. Package out a cutout set. Juanita said she hasn't mastered the buffalo plaid painting yet. Juanita, I have a really good way that I paint the buffalo plaid. So I'm gonna have to do a tutorial on that for you because I have a really good, easy way of doing that. Amy said, I don't have any of the fancy equipment, so learning lettering would be a bonus for me. Yes, I learned lettering with nothing. I didn't have a vinyl cutter. I didn't have anything. And then I purchased a vinyl cutter because, and this is like in probably at the end of 2014. I thought, oh, I'm going to make all these stencils for my paint parties. But then I didn't use them because stencils are messy and I hate them. Paint gets under the stencil and it leaks, and you just have to be really, really careful, right? So I ended up not using it for that. And I ended up just kind of using it here and there on little projects. I probably use it maybe once every 6 months now for things like making those little vinyl squares for here. If I do stars on anything, a lot of times I'll do vinyl stars because stars are really hard to get like super precise and neat looking. And then there's like white. White is always hard to make stars. Hey, Alicia, how are you? And then my husband used to be a teacher and a coach. So then he got me like the school was getting rid of their older projectors. So they plugged into the computer still. Wasn't the overhead projector, but it's big and clunky. I still have it. It's like this big. But he got me one of those. And I would plug that in. I would do my lettering on the computer. So like I would have a font like in whatever, I don't even remember what. I think I did it in my vinyl cutting software, my Silhouette. I have a Silhouette. I would do that. So I would use fonts and like put it in my vinyl cutting software, and then I would shine it, and I would have to like have a big easel with my sign. And it was like hard because then you'd have to make sure it wasn't tilted in any sort of way and the projector was flat, because otherwise it would kind of make the image just a little bit off. And so then I would go and like trace it with a pencil on the sign, and then I would letter it, which worked great, but it took so much time, you guys. It took so much time to do all that just for one word. Again, I had no idea that templates existed, or else I would have done that. That was an awesome, whoever thought of that. But that's what I did for a really long, I did that for a couple of years. No, maybe 2 years. I used that. And then once I finally kind of started doing this sort of lettering style, I kind of started getting comfortable enough to try to like freehand it on the signs myself. which sometimes took a while, and I would have to erase and rewrite and do all of the things, but it worked and it gave me a lot of practice. And I can't take my big projector or my vinyl cutter to a paint party. So at the paint parties, I hand lettered everything, no stencil, nothing, for a really long, well, I always did that at my paint parties. And then in 2019, at the end of 2019, I started getting tracing paper. And so I would put tracing paper down, and I'll show you. I did it this morning when I made Miss Ruth's sign here real fast. I would get tracing paper and put it flat so I could see the sign underneath, and then I would write it out. That way I knew that I had my spacing right. I had, it wasn't, I didn't even know about laser level at this point. So there was a lot of like erasing and rewriting and redoing and over and over and over, which you learn through that, right? But I would do that. So I would get my tracing paper. So this is a really good tip for anybody who doesn't have all the fancy equipment. You can letter something. I'm going to show you this real fast. A little on the fly tutorial. Let me get a little scrap piece of wood. Ah. Okay, something you can do if you don't have all the fancy stuff, right? This is a very good inside tip here, okay? Let's see, Juanita said, if you know how to do the Mod Podge iron-on method, oh yeah, you could do that with the napkins and the printables. Yeah, you could do that for sure. I did not know about that until, I didn't even know about napkin Mod Podge until July. Until I met somebody, Tracy Pounds with Miss Tracy Creates. She is amazing, and that's what she does. And I didn't even know that existed. So, that probably would work. I need to try that one. I need to try that. Amy said she's terrible using stencils because of the paint. Yeah, like the only way I've found stencils to work is if you like spray them with some of the kind of that tacky spray, and then you can put that down and it sticks to your signs, but then sometimes it leaves a residue on your sign. You can use vinyl for stencils. I did that for a very short period of time at paint parties. That was a disaster half the time because sometimes it would work perfectly. Sometimes it would pull the paint off, and then you'd be sitting there touching up forever. Like and then you're spending all that money to buy vinyl all the time. Hey, Miss Jackie. Jackie just joined my lettering club. She is a new member of the lettering club. So you ladies on here that are in my lettering club, to let her know, to say hi. You're spending all this money on stencils, right? Like on stencils, on vinyl. It's like it can be very expensive. When you're a maker, like every penny that you spend on a project, especially if you're selling it, like every penny counts, because it all goes into what you're going to make off of that sign. So if you spend $40 to make the sign, but you only sell it for $50, then that was a lot of hours of work that you put in for $10. So there's that. So you have to be mindful of those sort of things. For the stencils, for the first coat of paint, for the rest of the stencils, yeah, there are ways. Contact paper I have used for sure, and that does work pretty good. Yes. Yes, Juanita, there's a lot of tricks that you can use with vinyl stencils, and I have done all of that. Like there's paint and peel method. Yeah, where you paint it white, and then you would put your vinyl, like the letters down, and then you paint then you would paint over those little letters the color of the sign. So say if I wanted to have a black sign with white lettering, you could paint white put your vinyl lettering down, then paint black, and then peel the letters off, and the letters will be white. That does work, but there is a lot of time involved in that, and you're buying the stencils. It's just, that works good. I use MDF. We use a very, very nice high grade MDF that we get from a lumber company. So it's not like Home Depot. It's not that kind of MDF. But you can't do that on MDF because it sticks to the vinyl will stick to the layer of paint, and it peels the layer of paint off of the sign. So I used to use wood, like birch or underlayment or revolutionary ply, but I got really tired of, we would buy it, and once you cut it up into signs, they would be bowed. Or I started getting a whole bunch of like hollow pieces in the wood. And you wouldn't know until you started painting in them, and there's just like a hole in the wood. And I got tired of throwing sheets of wood out. So we were like, no, we're done with this. We are going to figure out a solution. So anyway, that's in 2017 that we started buying this MDF, and I love it. You just can't stain it, and you can't use the vinyl on it. So, but if you don't have all the fancy equipment, you can get some tracing paper, just a pat tracing paper, right? I like it because I can see through it. So I know what I am doing. So let's see, what can we write on here? Somebody give me a phrase to write. And please make it a very short phrase and not anything hard. Maybe if I get a couple of suggestions, I'll choose. Anyway, you can letter on your tracing paper. So I'm going to pick something, okay? Really need to buy some of your blanks to paint, just see the difference in painting on that quality of wood. Yeah, you'll like it. Like even my friend Amy, I sent her Best Mom. Okay. Even my friend Amy, she purchased a blank sign from me, and she was like, what kind of wood is this? It's so nice. Like, so my husband found the place, but anyway. Okay, so I'm going to do Best Mom Ever, okay? So I'm going to start. See, I already can tell I'm going to run out of room. So I already know, okay, that M is way too big. And also, the more you know, the more like particular you are. There was a time where I would have like not seen a lot of the stuff that I see now. Does that make sense? Like I notice things that I wouldn't have noticed before, just through experience. So I'm going to make Mom kind of more of a print, sort of-ish. Not really a print, but I'm not going to really make it super cursive-y. So you can kind of just sketch out your design. It doesn't have to be perfect. So then we're going to do one way to just get me get me all in is just asking me lettering questions, because I love it so much that I will literally sit here for days and talk about it. So I kind of scooted it over because I could tell that I was going to run out of room here. And I really wanted this to kind of, so I'm going to drag this out further to kind of, but what I'm going to do, I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm really good at getting my spacing perfect on words that I write all the time. But then when you have a phrase like this, like I'm not like, and when you're on a live doing it too, like you're not, like it's hard to like think. Like, not think, but you know what I'm saying? When you're talking and doing it. But was I going to say? I don't really know. I don't know where I was going with that. So those of you in the lettering club, remember we talked about these R connections. So notice what I'm doing with it. We just talked about that on Sunday. And we talked about our connections too. So, well, mine are at different spots, but so don't pay attention to that. Never mind what I said. So here's how I just sketched out. I feel like there's a little bit more space between these two than these two. Y'all may not be able to see that. It's what I see. And this kind of slopes down just a little bit. So like, and I did pull this down to try to offset a little bit, but I don't want to necessarily do that with this S. So you can kind of just resketch this, okay? So what I could do with this is, because I don't, this isn't centered, you can just cut it with your scissors, or you can flip it down. I'll show you what I would normally do. So best mom ever. I'm buying my husband a laser for his birthday week next week so I can borrow it, Deb said. I love that idea, Deb. I love it. That's funny, funny, funny. Yeah, luckily I had this out in the garage, but half the tools were mine when my husband and I got married because I already had my business. So I had lots of tools all the time. But he's definitely added more to the mix. Does it matter what brand of watercolor pencil you use? I don't think so. I use this Faber-Castell gold, it's called Gold Faber. These are linked in my Amazon. Gold Faber Aqua. I buy them individually at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and they used to be like $1.50 or something. Who knows? They probably $2 now. Who knows? But I think any watercolor markers would work. But I don't know 100% for sure because I have never tried other brands, because I found those and I liked them, and they last a long time, sort of. The ink is, the lead is a little bit soft, so you have to resharpen them a lot, but y'all aren't probably making as much as I'm making. So, oh, no, this is what I was going to show you. I'm so sorry. I was going to show you a different trick. So I wrote on my tracing paper. So this could be on regular paper or tracing paper, either way. I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to use like a darker, like a black. You could use gray too, but I'm going to use black so you can see it better. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm just going to go over the back of my letter. So you could even print something off on the computer and do this, okay? Like if you have like, I better not do that on top of that because I'm leaving marks. If you had like a, whatever program you have with fonts, like you could just print it out and then go over the back of it, as long as you could see it. If you had one of those light boxes, you could use, this feels like it's really sloping down, and that is because this needs to be here. If you had like a little light box or something like that, you could put it on top of that and trace over the back, but I just try to get general, okay? You could do this with a regular pencil as well, but those tend to smear and smudge a lot more than these. These don't. Ever, and I'm going to do. Just you really want to know how to break down the way letters look, flip the paper back onto the back like this, and you really start kind of seeing some different shapes you may not notice before. Like I feel like this tilts down, didn't really notice that. It's probably hard in the camera to see, but what kind of paper? This is just tracing paper. Tracing paper you can get at Walmart. You can get it in the kids section, adult section. Doesn't have to be fancy. It's just like you can put it on top of things and practice lettering, all kinds of stuff. It's awesome. You could even like take this, put it on top of here, and trace. It's really good for practicing. So like putting on top of like your lettering worksheets or something like that, and just you can use marker on it, whatever. So, okay, so I had this. I traced over the back with these. Now I'm going to erase what I did here. Okay, I'm going to lay this on here, center it how I want. Then you could take it like a little doohickey like this, like a little stylus. They have these at Dollar Tree, I know. Or you can use a regular pencil. You just need something with a kind of a hard tip. And then just, oh, I wasn't going to put my best there. Oh well, I'll draw a flower here. How's that? So you can just do this. I'm going to do this with this little thing, and then I'll show you. I'll do it with the pencil next. Best, use my pencil. This isn't going to give you as good of a result as the graphite paper, but it is literally the cheapest way to do this. And I did this before I knew about templates. So now templates are nice because it's already all done for you and positioned perfectly, especially on the sign. But you see how I was able to transfer that. So you could do the same thing with paper. So you just have to be able to see, which here I can see. So depending on how thin your paper is, okay. Some people's papers are thinner than others. So if it's a thick piece of paper, you may not be able to tell. But you could take this and I like the tracing paper though, because if you're just using, like if you have a template that's already pre-done for you, like, you know, where the word is on the sign and all that, then that's great. I like the tracing paper though. Sometimes if you're trying to do your own lettering on a sign, because then you can see through it and you can see what it looks like on the sign. So I'm gonna quickly did that, but you can see the H there. Now, if you wanted to get it darker, you could just kind of just, you know, make this darker and then go over it more. And you can see how it's there. It looks, it's darker than what it's looking in the camera because all these bright lights are on it. But that's a good way to kind of get your letter on a sign if you don't have all the fancy things. All you need is some tracing paper. And then you can just kind of work on this. Go back through and like kind of perfect it and then do your lettering on top of that. So that's what I did before I realized that they made such things as templates. And I was like, where have these been all my life? I would have made, if I could have purchased templates when I started my business, I can't even tell you how many hours worth of work that would have saved me. Tracing paper, you got that. Let's see. All right, well, that is going to conclude my tutorial for today. I have one more sign that I need to finish making that I can't letter on it yet because it's stripes and I have to paper the stripes first. So I don't have anything else to letter at the moment, or else I would do that for you guys. But anyhow, thank you for hanging out with me, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, if you do that method, you don't get smudges from the carbon paper, which is fantastic. Fantastic. It's a good way. And like I said, it's an inexpensive way to do it. It just takes a little bit longer because you have to, like, you know, you have to basically trace the whole design on the back and then flip it over on the front. But yeah, I mean, I use that all the time at, well, I say all the time. I used that for about 6 months at paint parties when I discovered to do things that way. And then COVID hit, and so into those, and then I discovered actual templates, and then I was like, wow. Anyway, and then if you have Procreate, hey Artina, how are you? If you have Procreate, then you can make your own templates. So that's just a whole nother day. Thank you, Amy. You have a great day too, and I'm glad that you guys hung out with me and listened to me talk about lettering, because I could talk about lettering all day long. I love it so much. So if you want to learn more about sign lettering, I have sign lettering course, lettering for sign makers, that breaks everything down, and you get worksheets and just all kinds of things, templates. And then the Happy Lettering Club is my online hand lettering club, and we do all things lettering, just really breaking down the fundamentals of lettering. I really go into very specifics, like how I shape my letters and all that kind of good stuff. But then we also do some projects with lettering, like journaling. I think in May we're going to do sign lettering. So we will be doing some sign lettering projects. We also talk about Procreate, which is the app on my iPad that I use to create all of these designs. So if you want to get better at hand lettering to use on multiple different types of crafting, that group is really good for that. If you just only want to learn about sign lettering and you don't really care about having that like ongoing support with it, then the course is good, because it's just, you take it whenever you want, just a one-time thing. But I will say that lettering, and then some people take the course and then they join the group, because with lettering, it's practice. And so sometimes you can watch and hear what somebody says and go, oh, okay, right, she does it like that, right? How many of us have done this? Like, and then you sit down to do it and you're like, oh, but it's not working out for me as easily as it worked out for her, right? Like, it doesn't always, you have questions that come up, so the lettering club is really good for that purpose. Like, you can get that continued support. I'm available to ask questions. I can give you feedback on your designs. I give them lettering downloads every month. So there's templates and traceables that you can use on your own signs and your own projects that they get every month. So it's a really good value for just kind of, especially if you're a maker, if you're a crafter, if you're a maker. If you do it for a living, it's tax deduction. So I'm just going to throw that out there because you are learning your craft. But it's a good way to just get that kind of ongoing support, right? Because questions are going to come up like, hey, what kind of pen do you use? Or what would you do in this situation? There's a lot of women in there that make signs or do, multiple different types of crafts that can kind of be a good source of information. And then, of course, I'm in there too. So we do projects I do tutorials every week live in there, so you can ask me questions as I go and just all kinds of fun stuff. It's been really great and fun, and I love it. And yeah, so anyway, Juanita said it's a great community. It really is nice. Like, again, I love lettering. I can talk about it all day long. But it's a really, really good way to just to kind of get that continued support with lettering, because lettering is different depending on what kind of craft that you're doing, right? Like it's different. It's not all, you don't use the same pens for everything. You don't use the same paper for everything. You don't use the same technique with everything, right? Like it's different. So just because you're really good at lettering doesn't mean you're really good at sign lettering, right? Like it's just to have, okay, let me just give you this and then we'll hop off. But hey, Debbie, welcome. This is how I want to look at it. If you buy one pack of markers, one pack, because if you are crafty, me and Juanita might be the the marker junkies in the group here. But if you are crafty and you purchase crafting supplies, so stencils, markers, whatever it may be, and you bring it home and say you spend $20 on it, because that's pretty plausible nowadays, and they're terrible, one pack. Juanita says one pack, haha, right. And they're terrible and you don't like them, then you just wasted $20, right? Or if you're in my group that is $27 a month, guess what? You can say, hey, have you tried? Now, I haven't tried every single marker under the sun, but I've tried a lot. And Juanita's in the group. If I haven't tried them, probably she's tried them. So, what kind of marker would you use for this, or whatever your question is, right? You could have just come in the group and asked, and I could say, don't buy those. Those aren't good. Buy these. Then, I mean, you just made your money up just right there, just on products. Like just on products you would purchase, So just having somebody who has been there and been through it, because I have been doing this for 9 years, and who has studied lettering. Now, there's still some things that you'll come across that I've never done. I haven't done everything there is in the world. But there's a lot of ladies in there who make signs or who do other. It isn't a group of just beginners. It's kind of all different stages, I guess you would say. So there's a lot of information in there. The people in the group have a lot of information they can offer. So, you can go in there and you can ask. You can ask questions and you can get your answers so that you don't go out and waste money on a bunch of stuff, right? Like you can get that help. You can go, I'm really stuck on this. I need help with this. And I go in there. It's rare that I miss a day. Like I try to go in there every day and answer questions. And then definitely when we do lives, it's chatting back and forth. And I give people very detailed information in that group. So, and just the downloads that you get, especially if you're a sign maker, getting 4 to 5 new like lettering templates a month is, I mean, a lot of people sell those for $5 to $7 each. So that's, yeah. Juanita said, Jen has been a great help on the marker. She's helped me buy the right kind for lettering. The Tombow Fudinowski. Yes, those are great. Yes, speaking on that, I bought markers a couple weeks ago. I was at Walmart. I try to pick up new markers whenever I see them just to test them out for my group. So they know. And I mean, I bought them and I don't really like them. Like there's been several packs of markers that I spend $8 on, $12 on, $18 on, and I don't like them. Like that adds up very, very, very quickly. So it's nice to have somebody else test them out for you first, tell you what they think, especially products, things like that. But anyway, that is that. Otherwise, I do have my free lettering group, and I try to go in there and do some things. That just kind of depends on my level of busyness. So that's not like guaranteed that I'm going to be in the group doing things, but it's just when I can. But there are lettering challenges, and there are a lot of other ladies in that group. Juanita's in that group. She is experienced and amazing at lettering. And she's so sweet she'll answers a lot of questions in there and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go too. I have work to do. Bye, Juanita. Bye, everybody else. Thanks for watching. And I hope you guys have a really good Tuesday.